Hello all, welcome to Tech Classroom. In this video, we will see about one of the most important React concepts, useMemo. Actually, useMemo is one of the hooks available in React for performance optimization. What is performance optimization? Usually, users expect applications to load quickly and respond to their interactions smoothly. In React, performance optimization is a technique which can enhance the user experience by reducing load times and improving responsiveness. So let us now see how can we optimize the performance of a React application using useMemo hook. Actually, useMemo is used to memorize the result of a computation. It only recalculates the value only when its dependencies change, preventing expensive calculations on every render. Now, let us look at the code to understand useMemo completely. Yes, so this is our app.js component. So here we are going to have another component as a child component. So for that, I'm creating another component in the same file, const expensive calc component, and this returns something called computed value, and this gets number as a prop, and we'll see the app.js component. So for that we need to import two hooks, that is use state and our use memo hook. Here I'm going to define two states. One is count, initial value would be 0. The next one is number. Let's take it as num. Use state and an initial value would be 0. Yeah. And we'll be having two button elements here. So one is to increment the count and one is to increment the number. Increment count. The other one is increment number. Okay, so let us define the onClick function. Set count to count plus 1, and here onClick function is set num, it would be num plus 1. All right, um, then we'll be having so we'll be displaying the number and the count values here. First is count, and then we'll be displaying the number value, that is num, and at last, so we are going to import, we'll be using the child component, so that is our expensive calc component. So as I've already told, so we'll be passing a number value, that is num, as a prop to this child component. Okay, So now we'll see expensive calc component. So in this we'll be having we'll be defining a function const calculate expensive value. Okay, calculate expensive value. So this will also take this prop as an attribute. Here first, let us print print something here, printing expensive calculation. All right. Here we have let us take a variable result, and we'll define a for loop that I equal to 0, I less than let us take a billion. Okay, I plus plus. Yes, so result would be num, and we will return the result. And so now we'll be defining another function using useMemo hook, const memoized result equal to useMemo. So inside the memoized result, we will have this. We'll call this calculate expensive value function. And in the dependency array, so we'll be giving number. And so this child component expensive calc component will return this memoized result. Yes. So before checking the UI, we can mention this as count value, and we can mention this as num value in order to differentiate. Um yeah, I think we are all set, so we can check the UI now. All right, so this is our UI now. So we have an increment count button, increment number button, and we have the count value, number value, and the computed value. So let me open the network tab and we'll look at the console. Okay, so now I'm going to click increment count. So I've just clicked increment count. The count value is incremented by 1, and I'm just clicking increment num. All right, if you could see, I've clicked increment num, and the number value got incremented, and there is this computed value. So if in the console we are able to see printing expensive calculation. So this is happening only when we click on this increment num button. If you note it down, so this printing expensive calculation is not getting printed when we click increment count button. So let me clear the console and check it again. All right. So I'm clicking this increment count. So as of now, the count value is 1 after clicking this increment count. So the count value is incremented by 1. Now the count value is 2 and nothing has been printed here. And if we click on this increment num button, all right, so printing expensive calculation. So this has been printed here and the number value gets incremented and this computed value is also getting changed. So let me explain what is the role of use memo hook here. If we could go back and check our code, it will be easy for me to explain. Yes, so this is our code. See, we have used use memo hook here. So what we are doing is we are memoizing the value of this particular function. It means, so we are just storing, we are just storing the value of that, we are just storing that value of that particular function in a cache. So this function need not to be called for each and every render of the component. So it will be called only when there is a change in this dependency array. So the dependency array here is the number. So whenever we change the number, whenever the number is changed, this particular function is being called, and only then this component gets rendered. So for each and every render of the app component, so this function will not get repeated. So say for example, we can just comment this memoized result. So instead of that, I'm just displaying, I'm trying to display calculate expensive value, and I'm passing num. All right. So we just got rid of this use memo hook now. So we are just simply directly using the function. So let us see what is happening now. All right. So let me refresh the page and I'll clear this console. Okay. So I'm clicking this increment count. Just look at the console. I'm clicking this increment count. All right, if you could see, so the count value is getting incremented and also printing expensive calculation is being printed, which is wrong actually. So which need not to be happen because because I'm just increasing the count value. I'm just increasing the value of count. So count is nowhere related to this child component. If you could see, count is nowhere related to this child component, and this printing statement console.log printing expensive calculation is written in the child component. So we are just rendering the app component and we are just increasing the count value, but this count is nowhere related to this expensive calc component. But the statement inside this component is being printed. It means for every render, all right, so for every render, so this operation is happening, so which is unnecessary. So we need not to, we need not to execute this operation for each and every render. If you could see this operation carefully, so you will be able to understand the logic. So here we have two states that are defined. So that is count, set count, and numbers, num, set num. So as I already told, this count state is nowhere related to our child component, expensive calc component. So that is our child component. So this count state is nowhere related to that. But we are passing this num value as a prop to our child component. So this state is actually related to our child component. So once we click on this button increment num, so we are increasing the value of num to 1. So it means that we are adding one number to that particular value each and every time we click that button. So if we click that button, so this num value get incremented and that is being passed to our child component. So our child component is nothing but expensive calc component. So we are getting this num value from our parent component, and It is being passed to this function calculate expensive value. So if you could see, so the num value is related to this function, and based upon the num value, here the results are getting changed, and it is being passed here. So based on that num value, once we click on that increment num button, so the num value is being incremented, and this operation is, this function is being called, and this statement is being printed. But if we use memo, so what happens now is, so only when the value of this num change, so we'll be calling this function. So this function will be executed only when we change the num value. This is how we optimize the performance of our React application on each and every render of our component of our application. So this function need not to be called. So this function need to be called only when there is a change in this num value. So in order to achieve that, we are using useMemo. If we are not using useMemo, so this particular function will be called in each and every render, which makes our application slow, and also it impacts the responsiveness of our application. So that is the reason we are using useMemo. So useMemo is the hook which is used to optimize the performance of our React application. If you find this video useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.